A short while ago, the Israeli army defended its relentless attacks on hospitals and ambulances. The post was quickly deleted from the platform X, formerly known as Twitter. But let's take a look at what it said, because this is not the first time Israel has tried to justify its bombardment of healthcare facilities. Now, the post says ambulances are used to transport patients in need of medical care, and hospitals are places where patients receive treatment, right? But the Israeli army says Hamas uses ambulances to transport its operatives and weapons, disguising them as civilians. It goes on to state that hospitals are in fact terrorist infrastructure and not used for medical purposes. It points out this is against international law, and it says turns hospitals and ambulances into legitimate military targets. Now, this is a claim the Israeli army has made before, that Hamas is using hospitals as cover for its command centres. Well, for more on this, let's speak to Diana Bhutto, a Palestinian lawyer and former legal advisor to the Palestine Liberation Organisation. She joins us now from Haifa. Thank you very much for being on Al Jazeera. First of all, what is your reaction to this tweet that was sent out by the Israeli military, especially when it comes to the line, hospitals and ambulances are legitimate military targets?
Look, the Israeli army has been dying to try to make things that are otherwise illegal, to try to turn them into legal. And we all know that it is illegal to hit hospitals. It is illegal to hit ambulances. It is illegal to deny care to the sick and to the wounded. And Israel persists because it can. And I think it's very important for us to put this in its proper context. These same allegations were made in 2008 and 2009, again in 2012, again in 2014. They have never been proven. And what we do know is that Palestinian doctors, international doctors, doctors from international organizations, everybody has come out and said that this is actually not being used for any military purposes, and therefore it is illegal. Therefore, the onus is on Israel to prove that it's illegal. But even if it tries to do that, we have to bear in mind what Israel is doing. It's trying to commit genocide against Palestinians, and this is why it must be stopped now.
I mean, how compelling is this as potential evidence in any future investigation or trial?
You know, they have no evidence. They have no intelligence whatsoever. In fact, there have been demands by Palestinians for an independent investigation to come in and look through the hospitals. But of course, this has always been rejected by Israel because they want to continue to dangle these fake allegations in order to make legal what is otherwise illegal. And this is what Israel has always been trying to do. You don't need to have a degree in international law to understand that hitting a hospital is illegal. But what Israel's trying to do is sell the world that what it's doing is right. And we all know that it is criminal.
I mean, like you say, they are trying to sell this narrative to the world. At this stage, do you think it is working and that many of the Western nations that are allied with Israel are buying it?
I don't think they're buying it, but I don't think they're doing anything to stop it either. When you see that for the past 2 days, we have not received an accurate toll of people who've been killed by Israel in the Gaza Strip because the Ministry of Health is not able to operate. And when you see the level of damage that Israel is inflicting, and when you hear the genocidal statements that Israeli leaders are saying, it should demand from the world that it put pressure on Israel to stop. But instead, while they may not be believing Israeli lies, they're still allowing Israel to persist with carrying out these attacks, and they're quite brutal.
Just in regards to the allegations that are mounting every day against Israel, saying crimes against humanity, genocide, violations of international humanitarian law, I mean, how does or should that process around investigating and prosecuting those allegations, how is that likely to proceed, if at all?
Look, there are already organizations that are working and collecting evidence regarding Israeli war crimes. They've been doing this not only since the first day of the attack, but for years before, because this is unfortunately not the first attack. And there is a mountain of evidence from statements of Israeli leaders, including the prime minister and the president himself. There is a mountain of evidence in terms of the more than 1,000 family massacres that have been perpetrated. There's a mountain of evidence in terms of the attacks on hospitals. The real question is whether a court is actually going to listen to this. And I certainly hope they do so. If they don't, it tears decades of international law to pieces and shows the world that what is really important is might rather than law. And we must not go down this path of allowing might to be right.
Thank you so much, Diana. We really do appreciate it. Diana Buttu, Palestinian lawyer and former legal advisor to the Palestine Liberation Organization. Thanks so much.